Life goes on.
This video, I'm going to be talking about the flat Earth. Let's just talk about this because,
ladies and gentlemen,
the world, it's flat.
Pay up. It's flat.
Well, that's it.
Turn camera.
You ever look in the flat Earth?
102, take one.
With overlap, action please. Action awesome, please.
Just do anything?
No, it's sorry, cut. Yeah, rolling.
102, take two.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
102, take three.
Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States and welcome to downtown Washington, D.C. once again, where we're here in front of this statue of Albert Pike.
In demonstrations afterwards, other Oberlin College students labeled the family racist to send a message that will resonate with other institutions around the country.
We need to deter and discourage and tell them and this country that there's consequences for the things you say and you do, things you say and you do, and you do.
Here at Wrigley Field last night when the fans sitting right...
I find like some things are too, I have some beliefs that are too inflammatory to even discuss.
I think that the earth goes around the sun.
Did Christ think the world was flat?
Huh?
Little tiny, because we oppress people, we further oppress them by forcing them to identify themselves as what I consider less than human. So if someone said,
things you say and you do.
Did Christ think the world was flat?
Up about Mars. Shut up. This is a dangerous idea. Species. Richard Branson says, I'm
things you say and you do.
With your oxygen, causing your skin to dry up, your brain to shrink, your hair to whiten, and your eyes to sink into your skull. You'll look like this.
Things you say and you do.
It's 2:25, so remember to bring a sweater.
Things you say and you do.
Earth, 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 earth. Earth, earth, earth. Earth, earth, earth. On earth, on earth, on earth, on earth. Earth, on earth, on earth. And Mars is a mirage.
Until I found this photo from Grand Mere State Park. This is from Joshua Nowicki, and what you're seeing here is a mirage. We typically would not be able to see this from the Lake Michigan shore. We talked about this last night.
On Earth, mirage.
Conditions are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage of the Chicago skyline. Very interesting here. Here's what's happening. This is a good example of a superior mirage. So Joshua was on the Lake Michigan shore. He was looking towards the west, and Chicago's beyond the horizon. Should not be able to see it. However, with the right conditions, we have an inversion. We have cold air near the cold lake water and some relatively warmer air above it. This will bend the image of that skyline back towards the viewer. And so typically we would not be able to see this. This image would be viewable from much, much higher in the sky, up in space. But instead, we're able to see it on the Lake Michigan shore.
Earth, on Earth. Food, on Earth. Mars, on Earth.
not Mars.
On Earth.
Nope, 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 nope. Earth. Earth.
On Earth.
Earth. Yep, 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 yep.
On Earth.
Pigs. Oink. Oink. Pigs. Pigs. Yep, 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 yep. Good. Earth.
On Earth.
Yep. Yep. Cat. 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 Yep. Cat. Yep. 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 Cat. Meow.
On
Meow.
Earth.
No, it's not. It's up to people.
Nope.
Nope. Book.
Book.
Got book.
On Earth.
Greetings!
Kyrie Irving recently said the Earth was flat.
Because there's something good about it, which is they're trying to figure out how nature works. Is the Earth round or flat? What is it? YouTube thing. And somebody was talking about how they think it's actually possible that the world is flat.
I think that's more important now than maybe ever, but how do you think people can do that in these politically charged
I
times?
realize it's a radical thing to say the world is flat.
Kind of is.
I think it's true for me. And maybe there's something positive about them that can change me for the better. I should always look to be changed for the better. We yell at each other all the time. World is flat. World is flat. World is flat.
How hilarious is that?
Disastrously wrong.
I think it's true for me.
How are you doing?
There ain't no curvature.
1984.
Doing.
Around the world.
Stop it! Stop it! Come here. What do you think you're up to?
Doing.
Can knock you flat.
Flatten it off! Flatten it off! Flatten 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 off!
Three questions.
Flat.
The shape of the world had not proved to be disastrously wrong.
Welcome to the show. You don't know. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars, vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like so jars, caffeinated aid-filled scars, rage quit repertoires, no answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours, imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of gish gallop and war. No remedy can save the lost in love with the arm. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards, soaked in sin with your duper's delight and a new hand of cards. Been so long, seems like for love I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Intoxicated hate makes you believe you're spinning in space while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdain. I used to contemplate how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with full plate. No one to help me stay awake or educate. I've had to liberate and fight through hidden gates. But my brother, heaven could never be late. No, rockets, they don't work in space. It's all fake, the show is unmarked. That joke, the truth, I can't, it won't be long. I won't be strong. We have our song and we march along like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond. And life's the truth that it's the bond that sings the song, turns mankind from the wrong. We come in peace with a holy gown and all swearing our holy crown. So the earth is flat and we probably just won't get along. Just to get along, I said, welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know.
And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
All propaganda must be popular, and its intellectual level must be adjusted to the most limited intelligence among those in the drug Jew. Consequently, it is great to be with you at Mesa Verde today, and I hope to see you soon. So long.
And that's that, unless the world is flat.
Next week, or at least an interesting one. Do you believe the Earth is a sphere? The answers you get might surprise you.
Curving horizon, the sloping sea level, the spin of the Earth. Unless you can see these phenomena with your own eyes, they may not be true. Unlike what we've been told in school, the Earth looks like a snow globe, round but not sphere. The North Pole is at the center of most flat Earth maps, with the ice of Antarctica holding everything in.
The round or spherical Earth theory is propagated by some conspiracy.
And the number of people who think so is growing. Thousands, if not millions of people still believe the world is flat.
And it's the subject of tonight's special report. WCIA3's Aaron Eads is here with us now. And Aaron, as far as conspiracy theories go, flat Earth theory is actually getting pretty popular.
Yeah, believe it or not, the number of people who believe the Earth is flat is actually growing. Scientists might have an idea of why that is, and it's worth talking about. And what better place to do so than one of the flattest places in the country, right here in central Illinois. It doesn't get much flatter than this. Geological survey data shows Douglas County is the flattest county in Illinois, which is the second flattest state in the whole country. On a clear day, it seems like you can see forever, but you can't. Through the eyes of a person of an average height, the horizon is about 3 miles away. But that's it. You can go up higher to see a greater distance, but you'll never be able to see the whole world no matter how high you get. But there are ideas that this is a sham. NASA, a fraudulent organization bent on siphoning your tax dollars. The moon landing didn't happen.
Those iconic blue marble images seen from space, fakes. In a world of disagreements large and small, for something as clear as this horizon, the interpretation could be infinite.
The biggest concern with the flat Earth movement is how fast it's gaining steam. Scientists are worried that flat Earth could become a political issue like climate change, vaccination, or evolution. Guys.
All right, fascinating stuff. All right, Aaron, thank you.
Very interesting.
Well, new this morning, all our lives, we've been taught that there's little doubt that the Earth is round, of course. We've seen the images from space, but not everyone's really convinced.
There's a whole group of people who are not convinced. Denver 7's Nicole Brady joins us live this morning. And Nicole, a conference dedicated to people who think the Earth is flat kicks off today.
It is happening in Denver. The Flat Earth International Conference is today and tomorrow. And in case you're not familiar with this, there are some variations in what flat earthers believe, but some common themes are the Earth is not a sphere, as you said. Other bodies out there are, though. It's not moving. We are not spinning on an axis or revolving around anything. And they don't really believe in space.
The billboard for the convention just went up along E470. International Conference. Make sure to visit us online. We have more information there at cbsdenver.com. Live in Denver, Jamie Leary covering Colorado First.
And many attending the conference here say the theory has really gained popularity over the past few years. Enough popularity where they can hold conferences like this.
The last 2 to 3 years, it's really taken off. I don't really know what the reason is for that. Maybe it's just time.
One factor of the growing popularity may be the coverage in the media. It became a hot topic recently when Duke's very own Kyrie Irving came out and claimed he believes the Earth is flat.
This is the right spot. Look at this. This area is filled with books about pretend people.
That's right, Grover. This is the fiction section. Fiction means it's a made-up story. Oh, hey, Elmo, I bet we can find your galactic Gale.
This area is filled with books about pretend people.
That's right, Grover. This is the fiction section. Fiction means it's a made-up story.
If that's the case, why the hell it why couldn't they hover around and the Earth spin by? You say the atmosphere is true, but what sticks the atmosphere to the Earth like glue? You say it's gravity.
Fiction means it's a made-up story.
But gravity's not a fact here, it's only a theory. Now back to reality. There's no gravity, just the forces of density and buoyancy. Can't you see I'm on the attack? And the shape of the Earth is nothing but flat. Open your eyes and look.
How are you?
Something.
Just a few. Just very few of the top people in communication.
Open your eyes and look to the sky, son. The proof is there, it's in the horizon. The truth is bare, it's got no disguise on. The Earth is flat, everyone's been lying. I'm feeling Murderous at the journalists reporting all the lies from Copernicus. What did he know? He was pro-helio.
Well, this might be a good conversation starter at the Thanksgiving dinner table next week, or at least an interesting one. Do you believe the Earth is a sphere? The answers you get might surprise you.
Curving horizon, the sloping sea level, the spin of the Earth. Unless you can see these phenomena with
If the shadow at Syene is at a certain length, and the shadow at Alexandria is the same length, that also makes sense on a flat Earth.
Of our world here, isn't it? Our globe, our Earth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do what the people who make the maps do, and I'm going to open out our globe. So it's as if I'm peeling the skin off it. And can you see? When I peel the skin on my little Satsuma here, I end up, I don't want that middle bit at the moment, but look, I end up with my skin all flat. So somebody has done that and they've made a flat map like this using our countries on our globe. So there we go. So I'm going to have a little look now at some of the foods that I've found in my cupboards. Which one shall I start with?
Okay, all right. I was told by the producer, don't move it.
Don't move it.
So, but...
the horizon is always eye level. Once you go flat, you never go back.
I got a scientific question for you. You flew from Memphis and back on...
Flat world. Too much information. You may know too much already. Rated PG-14, not only in theaters.
Fuel. So before this plane ever flew, it had, you know, hundreds of hours put on one of these engines and testing and everything else. So this may be the future right here.
Okay, I got a scientific question for you. You flew from Memphis and back on...
Right.
Does it smell like broccoli or French fries?
You tried it. What do you think it smelled?
What did it smell like?
Exactly. So it's synthesizing that molecule and getting this in getting the energy out of it.
If the shadow at Syene is at a certain length,
moved along pretty fast. When you think about it, that's not that long ago.
and the shadow at Alexandria is the same length?
Yeah, so that's the idea to emulate.
That also makes sense on a flat Earth.
A few years ago. So this is moving in this direction at a pretty good clip.
If the shadow at Syene is at a certain length?
You mean the Earth isn't flat? I must have missed that part. Bye. I gotta check this out.
He's asked that at the same instant,
You can see the world is flat.
Syene, he knew it was 800 kilometers. There was no shadow at Syene.
Argue that.
While we stand still here on the ground.
At Alexandria is the same length? That also makes sense on a flat Earth.
The bright circle goes round.
Reality.
Theorist has finally followed the trail of flat Earth breadcrumbs I've been dropping.
1984. The world gets still. The world is flat and
This flat Earth is in your... I believe the Earth is flat, despite what big round Earth money and their anti-flat Earth agenda want you to believe.
the Earth is flat. Living in illusion, the Earth is flat.
It did look flat out of my window.
Some illusion, the Earth is flat.
But they lose their greatest fears when they think, they find out that chemtrails are not poison being sprayed in the sky. And
I believe the world is flat. Don't care what you think or anyone else.
And someone else says it's flat.
On Mount Rubidoux, the words Google Flat Earth were found carved into the riverside hill in letters that were 10 feet long.
No curvature in the horizon. Flat Earth video, no curvature in the horizon. Flat Earth video, no curvature in the...
See the world. People are crazy. The world is flat and we're...
Thought you were a hip cat.
But how can you say that this world ain't flat?
I used to think the world was flat.
Fluoride should never be added to our water supply.
But I do! Because it's flat. Boom, you
Hypnotize my mind, convince me that this world is still flat. For the same, your hopeless brainwashed truth, there's no other way! And there's that, unless the world is flat. If Columbus had can fly, this whole world might still be flat.
Or they're out of office, or the world isn't flat after all.
I thought I made a big mistake. The earth ain't flat.
Also, flat wrong.
They said so publicly.
It's flat wrong.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth.
What we need to do is flatten the curve.
Up on the surface, the Earth looks around.
Moon landing was faked, or the argument that the Earth is flat and that scientists are covering it up.
But it's a godless city of cold, flat ground.
That stuff is flat.
Most fucking Americans don't really like flat earthers. They like planets and spaceships and stuff like gravity do. Most fucking Americans believe they're NASA and they're JAXA and ESA and some dude named Musk. Most fucking Americans don't like to worry about the spinning because they say it does it so slow. Most fucking Americans have an education and think the globe's real because they took science and got a B. Most fucking Americans love their sticks and their shadows and their well holes and their gyros. No. Most fucking Americans don't like to launch rockets without using fisheye lenses to make the flat earth round, 'cause don't it make a flatline curve? And that's all I got, man. How do you like it?
Hey, far out, man. Yeah, that's a good song, man. Well, I wrote my own one while I was listening to you sing yours. You want to hear it?
Oh, yeah, man. That sounds pretty awesome, man. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. It's kind of like a protest tune. All right, man. Here we go. Globers! 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 Hey, you like that, man?
Oh, yeah, man. That's pretty far out, man.
Let me open your eyes, and when you ask me why I
might make a mistake here or there, you know. But tell me out loud. Tell me out loud. I get you out so down and so far. Let me tell you out loud.
I mean, if it works for them, sure. Fine. Earth is a giant ball of lava with a thin crust.
This $6.99 any deal is too good to be true. No, really. I know 3 things for a fact. 1, the moon landing was faked. 2, the moon is also fake. And 3, this deal has Illuminati written all over it. I mean, think about it. 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any crust, any recipe, no questions asked. Well, I got some questions. Does that include meat lovers?
Yeah.
Original pan crust?
Yeah.
Are you a hologram?
What?
The $6.99 any deal. Is it proof that no one out pizzas the hut?
Round like home. Round like home.
Crap. I'm literally bringing the sun up faster by just literally climbing with the sun. I don't know if you guys can tell how fast it's coming.
Round like home. Da hat es nicht mal no one.
Or flat. Or flat.
Seems on some of these, it's entertainment, and he does entertain the crowd.
I really not. I just want to keep busy and keep active and be interested in what I do.
Brother, and chips that are flat.
But that's all they had.
But they're still flat. Try my Ruffles.
For a lot of people, there's only one potato chip. Ruffles.
Now that's a chip.
Because Ruffles brand potato chips taste better than other regularly made chips.
Have to give one to everybody else.
This flat, the earth is flat, earth is flat, the earth is flat, the earth is flat, this flat, the earth is flat, earth is flat, the earth is flat, the earth is flat, this flat, the earth is flat, earth is flat, the earth is flat, the earth is flat.
People coming out of a university with a master's degree or a PhD, you take them into the field and they literally don't believe anything unless there's a peer-reviewed paper. It's the only thing they accept. And you say to them, but let's observe, let's think, let's discuss. They don't do it. It's just, is it in a peer-reviewed paper or not? That's their view of science. I think it's pathetic. Gone into universities as bright young people, they come out of them brain dead, not even knowing what science means. They think it means peer-reviewed papers, etc. No, that's academia. And if a paper is peer-reviewed, it means everybody thought the same, therefore they approved it. An unintended consequence is that when new knowledge emerges, new scientific insights, they can never, ever be peer-reviewed. So we're blocking all new advances in science that are big advances. If you look at the breakthroughs in science, almost always they don't come from the center of that profession. They come from the fringe. The finest candle makers in the world couldn't even think of electric lights. They don't come from within. They often come from outside the breaks. We're going to kill ourselves because of stupidity.
To challenge the heliocentric model of the solar system is pretty blasphemous in today's world. So how do we start to unravel some of this stuff? What are some of the biggest red flags with our traditional understanding that should start putting those first cracks in the listener's preconceived notions?
Sure. Well, just our common sense everyday perception of the Earth. It is flat as far as we can tell. It is motionless as far as we can tell. And everything in the sky is revolving around us as far as we can tell. If nobody told us otherwise, we'd logically assume that the Earth was flat, motionless, with everything in the sky revolving around us. And you can prove that this is the case as well, for instance, with the horizon. As you rise up, no matter how high you go on the top of Mount Everest, or if you go in a balloon higher and higher, as far as 20 miles up and higher, we've gotten independent balloons have gone up with cameras. The horizon remains flat all the way around and rises to the eye of the camera all the way up. Now, if the Earth were a ball, no matter how big, the horizon is said to be the curvature of the ball. So as you rose up, the horizon would stay where it was, and you'd have to look down if you're in a hot air balloon, down further and further as you rose up, and the horizon would be below you. But in fact, as high as any non-NASA, RASA, or other Freemasonic space agency has ever shown us, as far as any independent camera has ever gone up with an independent rocket or a balloon, as far as 20 miles up, totally flat and rises to the eye of the observer. So that's one proof. Of course, you can measure curvature if it actually existed. They say the ball Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference, and using spherical trigonometry, it figures out to 8 inches of curvature per mile squared. The mile is squared, so for 2 miles, it would be 2 times 2, 4 times 8 inches, 32 inches. And for the third mile, it's 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, 9 times 8 is 72. So you're going 8, 32, 72, 128 inches, and so on. And this is the kind of curvature that would exist on a ball. And specifically on a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, as they say it is. So you can check with theodolites and telescopes and different methods, lasers, to see if the Earth actually does have that curvature. And it's been tested over and over again and found to have no curvature whatsoever. So I mean, even if they had the number wrong and it was 100,000 miles in circumference, there would still be a calculable, measurable curvature that just isn't there.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
The only place curvature exists is in NASA photos and videos, and those can be proven to be CGI fakes, and the early ones were literally taken through a round window to make the Earth appear round. And that's it. It's just photo trickery and brainwashing that's got the world thinking that we're on a ball spinning around the sun with a magical force called gravity holding us on the underside of this spinning ball. It's all just brainwashing that we've received. It's pseudoscience accepted as legit science. But real science has confirmed geocentricity in the flat Earth for thousands of years. The flat Earth was known to ancient cultures all over the world for thousands of years, and it's actually a relatively recent phenomenon that people have been believing we're on a big ball spinning around the sun. Pythagoras first came up with it about 2,500 years ago. He's also often considered the first Freemason, and it didn't go anywhere much from there until 2,000 years later. Copernicus picked up where he left off, another Jesuit Freemason, and he really picked things up, and Kepler and Galileo and Newton, and now Einstein and NASA, Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson, all these people, they're all part of this Freemasonic club that is building a pseudo-scientific worldview to indoctrinate the slave class so that we can be propagandized into doing anything. This is basically the biggest thing you could possibly lie about. The best way to brainwash the whole world is to lie to the whole world about what the world is. What is the earth under your feet? What is in the sky above your head? Where did we come from? You know, it's now, this lie has now evolved into a Big Bang evolution, heliocentric spinning ball cosmology, when in reality, we're not a cosmic accidental sneeze, nothingness turned everything. This is quite obviously intelligently designed, this thing we're experiencing here, this life, this universe. I can't believe anyone in their right mind can look me in the eyes with a straight face and say, no man, it's all random.
We look at the world as a whole, a big part is convincing minds that science has so much more power than it does. Landing on the moon's a good example. There are lots of good examples where people have been absolutely convinced that these magical men in lab coats have power beyond imagination. And yet for those who have woken up from the dream, from the spell, it's all a put-up. What they're good at is stagecraft. And stagecraft is a hell of a long way for doing a thing in real life.
I believe the world is a different shape than what we were taught in those programming centers, which is called public school system. Now the edge, which keeps all the oceans in, is a 150-foot ice wall, which is Antarctica.
Now yesterday, the sun and the moon was in the sky here at the same time, which is not possible, in my belief, on a globe.
Holy shit, he did it!
Smart enough to build a missile from scratch, yet stupid enough to climb inside. My kind of crazy. That's Mad Mike, and he attempted to challenge himself into space with absolutely zero clearance to do so, to see if the Earth was flat with his own two eyes. Twice. Flat Earthers doubt that the Earth revolves around a star in the galaxy 100,000 light years wide, which has been traveling at 242 miles per second for 13 billion years. Okay, fine. I'm starting to see their point.
What's this? Bowling ball? Cinderella's ball?
No, it's a globe of the Earth.
Get back.
You mean the Earth isn't flat?
Listen. But here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
But here's the deal.
So here's the deal.
And here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Because here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Either give me your ID or you go to jail. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that? How about that?
Here's the deal.
We as news organizations, we as institutions, also have a continued responsibility to inform the world about the state of our world, to guide the public. And unfortunately, like, for example, the UN, I was astonished to learn from my social media colleagues that we fall under a category called civic institutions, which means our starting point, we're downranked. So our starting point is down here, whereas Joe, conspiracy theorist, can start here. And so Facebook tries to address this by giving us ad credits so that we can then come back and be at the same place that whoever wants to say anything person is. But it is an algorithmic shift that was deliberately taken to favor individuals over institutions. And the institutions who are there to serve the public for good are at a disadvantage. We are also, though, have to get better at communicating in these spaces, and I think the humans who are, running our governments, our public health institutions, also need to be more human in their communications, because that's what functions well on social media channels. So it is, it's educating, it's hopefully elevating the content that. We partnered with Google, for example. If you Google climate change, you will, at the top of your search, you will get all kinds of UN resources. We started this partnership when we were shocked to see that when we Googled climate change, we were getting incredibly distorted information right at the top. So we're becoming much more proactive. We own the science, and we think that the world should know it, and the platforms themselves also do. But again, it's a huge challenge that I think all sectors of society need to be very active in.
What convinced you of your theory?
Well, what started to happen was they just started saying it publicly in front of cameras.
What we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, so that we penetrate the cabinets.
I'm going to have to ask you the same question now. What convinced you of your theory?
Well, what started to happen is they just started to say it publicly in front of cameras.
Was your data included in the data sold to the malicious third parties?
Yes.
There is a big reason why there's fluoride in the water. It's not a good one. You think that this stuff is safe when these people have to wear hazmat suits when they're putting it in the drinking water? You're not like seriously still brushing your teeth with a fluoride, right? Like drinking that shit, like it's terrible for you, didn't you know? It literally says on your toothpaste, call poison control if swallowed. You think you should be swishing this shit around in your mouth? Yeah. Swallow this, you're supposed to call poison control. But same amount of contents of fluoride and nobody's calling poison control. We're all just walking around like degraded zombies. But there's a big spiritual reason why they're putting fluoride in the water. The Eye of Horus, anyone remember this from the Egyptians? The Eye of Horus is a representation of your brain, and the eye is your pineal gland. And let me show you what fluoride does to your pineal gland. Yeah, completely calcifies it. Let's go over, some of the effects. Cancer. Brain damage in unborn fetus, bone weakness, dental fluorosis, low estrogen and testosterone levels, damages stomach, joint problems, skeletal fluorosis. Yeah, keep reading. Infertility. Sure you guys are aware of like what's going on in the sky. Fluoride makes your body absorb extra aluminum. And where does that aluminum go? Your brain. And what metal shows up alarmingly in the brains of Alzheimer's victims? Aluminum. It's like they're trying to kill us or something. Fluoride is popularly known as a neurotoxin. The excessive fluoride content inhibits the synthesis of melatonin. Another reason, there's a lot of people with sleeping problems. This could be why. And you may be wondering, well, dude, this is terrible, man. What am I supposed to do? Eat some turmeric right here. Get this stuff. Decalcifies your pineal gland. I even brush my teeth with this stuff. It's like anti-fluoride. It'll decalcify your pineal gland and it will rebuild the enamel of your teeth with, after the years of destroying it through fluoride day at school. In point of fact, fluoride causes more human cancer death and causes it faster than any other chemical. Dr. Dane Burke. And if you're wondering how I get to fluoride, all the chemicals that go past your blood membrane out of the water, I use a reverse osmosis system. And if you're thinking that I stop there, you're completely insane. You just go look at the water contents in the water. No. I distill my water then too to make sure that it's completely clean. And then I tell it I love it and drink it. I'm hoping that this video helps me see a little bit less of these fluoride stares, but if you want more content like this, follow me. Check out my link tree in my bio for my podcast.
Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Fetterman.
Yeah?
You need any help?
I'm running for the U.S. Senate, kid. I need all the help I can get.
You're running for Senate?
Sure.
Where's your suit? And your flag pin? And your hair?
Oh, hey, kid.
I just want you to know I'd vote for you.
Hey, thanks, kid.
You want a drink?
Nah, no.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
See you around.
Hey, kid. Catch.
Wow. Thanks, Mayor John.
Oh, come on, man. Well, I'm getting better at it. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. Hope I said something this morning that can help somebody out there. Help somebody if you can. That's what I'm going to do today. Peace and love. My soul boy down here in Alabama. Yes.
The Earth's axis of rotation, or the wobble effect. Let's begin by talking about the Earth's axis. The Earth rotates on an axis. The axis is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. The Earth rotates around its axis once a day. The tilt of the axis affects when seasons occur. When the axis tilts toward the sun, the northern hemisphere experiences summer, while the southern hemisphere experiences winter. In half a year, the Earth will revolve elliptically counterclockwise around the sun, while the axis stays tilted at 23.5 degrees. When the axis tilts away from the sun, the northern hemisphere then experiences winter, and the southern hemisphere experiences summer. The axis of rotation, also known as the wobble effect. The Earth's axis has an axis of rotation, and, just like a top, the axis spins. The angle does not change, only the direction of the axis. The axis of rotation will complete a full cycle approximately every 26,000 years. Today, this is how the seasons correlate with the axis of rotation and its orbit around the sun. "3,000 years ago, the axis of rotation and the seasons would have looked like this. "3,000 years from today, the axis of rotation will have moved more than 1/9 of a full cycle. Therefore, in
bet, I can get out of bed, no drugs make me bad. I can get out of bed, yeah, drugs are bad. I can get out of bed, no drugs make me bad. I can get out of bed, yeah, drugs are bad.
Therefore, in 13,000 years, the occurrence of the seasons will be opposite than it is from this year. After 26,000 years, the axis of rotation will have completed a full cycle, and the occurrence of the seasons in the Earth's orbit will start over. In relation to the stars, the Earth's axis currently points toward the star Polaris. Due to the axis of rotation, the Earth's axis will be pointing somewhere near the star Vega in 13,000 years.
A 6 versus 6 Battledome. We have
War attempted. Billions of dollars over the heads of millions.
So don't delay, act now.
Force wins.
The Earth flat is flat.
Call me a flat earther. Stuff.
Let me out! What you're seeing here. But why light a big secret? Autobomb. Fly on, you spacemen, fly on.
There are no other worlds. The stars, lights shining through from heaven.
They are able to observe phenomena. No, they can't observe. It's too far away. It's too theoretical.
Flat, right? Of course it's flat. Sure, I know the world is flat.
Well, so do I. Everybody knows that.
Good.
Don't talk about it if you don't leave it alone.
How do we know what they're saying
Aaron
is
was a
true?
safety inspector during Apollo 1's construction.
It's all science.
Space program. NASSholes, I call them.
Shut, Brian. And don't talk about NASA at all.
Our oxygen tank is being crafted? Oh, not really. Our water tank and oxygen tank, they're not ready yet.
To be discovered. And that's how it looks to you now.
Science and science fiction are essentially the same. Thank you very much.
Want to join NASA on a historic mission of discovery?
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Sie mein Befehl zu widersetzen! Supplies are running out. Take my sound.
The first ever spacecraft to the sun, NASA's Parker Solar Probe,